Okay, with the launch of Cataclysm arriving, we have a ton of updates from the developers on PvP, changes to Chaos Orbs, crucial launch dates you gotta know about, as well as the brand new Mop Remix Game mode being flooded with updates as well to the endgame, as well as buffing the rate at which you level up. My name is Sky from the Comeback Kids. We got your World of Warcraft news today. Grab a cup of coffee, sit down. We got a lot to discuss. Don't forget, if you're looking for an easy way to find your runes or level up quickly in all versions of World of Warcraft, click that link in the description below to get the Rested XP guide. It's literally the best guide out there for World of Warcraft. I promise you won't be disappointed. Click the link, support the channel, gain rewards. Okay, diving right into the news, believe it or not, it seems that the developers are making a ton of new changes and updates less than 24 hours into the Cataclysm launch. Starting off, it looks like Chaos Orbs, which are pretty much the same equivalent to frozen orbs back in Wrath of the Lich King, they will not be bind on equip in Cataclysm, and they will now be bind on pickup just as they were in original Cataclysm back in the day. This is a very abrupt change that not many people expected, considering that in the Cataclysm Classic Beta, these Chaos Orbs were bind on equip during the testing, and a lot of players were going to rush to max level, pretty much to just farm these out in heroic dungeons to acquire them to then sell or make really solid, incredible gear that was very powerful early on in the expansion. A lot of this is around 359-ish item level, so if you're looking to get any of this, it looks like you're going to have to run these heroic dungeons yourself, and you can't just buy them or get them from a guildie. Speaking of dungeons, it seems that the developers are making even more changes, with the weekly Valor cap being increased to a total of 1,600, which increases the previous cap by roughly 60%, and the award for completing a random Cataclysm heroic will now be 240 Valor total. They also did state that Valor won't be earnable until the first weekly reset after launch, so you will have some time to level to 85 before then, and then they also did say the same thing for Conquest points when it comes to PvP, so now the cap for Conquest points will be about 4,000, and increasing by 4,000 every week throughout the season, so it can help you with some alternate characters. All this is probably due to the increased cadence at which content is going to be released in Cataclysm Classic compared to the original version back in the day. So to break this down quickly, you're able to get more points for both PvP and PvE every week now to get gear faster. As of just a few hours ago, it was also confirmed by players that there is no honor vendors for the level 85 Bloodthirsty gear in the capital cities of Orgrimmar or Stormwind, which is 100% unintentionally a bug. The developers also stated that they are working on a fix for that, and they're looking to spawn the PvP vendors selling the 352 item level gear as soon as they can, which it looks like they must have fixed it as of last night in the middle of the night. On top of that bug, there's actually another PvP bug going on in Cataclysm right now, where players had the opportunity to craft item level 377 PvP gear that you normally wouldn't be able to obtain until patch 4.2 Rage of the Firelands. Pretty much during that patch in Cataclysm, they allowed professions to make catch-up PvP gear that was pretty damn strong and actually sellable on the auction house now, similar to how they did in Wrath of the Lich King. But for some reason, this time around in the Cataclysm launch, it wasn't disabled on the launch, so it allowed a lot of players to put this gear up on the auction house as soon as possible, make a nice chunk of coin before Blizzard even noticed. Now, Blizzard did state that they are going to be removing these items from the game, and if you have them equipped, they would be disabled on your character, but that still doesn't mean that players didn't exploit it while it was still around, leading to those certain players gaining a ton of gold in advance. There's usually a saying that goes around with Blizzard games lately during the launch. It usually goes, exploit early, exploit often. And this happens in Season of Discovery with a wide variety of things like, incursions, as well as the Stranglethorn Vale PvP event. And it seems that right now there are a couple of ways this is happening in Cataclysm Classic, which is quite shocking because this is an expansion that was already released before. But nevertheless, they are looking into it and getting a fix on this as soon as possible, so hopefully it doesn't start up too many problems in the community. Additionally, Cataclysm Classic saw its world first level 85 just under 3 hours after the launch. The world first achievement went to IMGD1, who surprisingly was facing a ton of hotfixes nerfs toward the mobs he was killing from Blizzard multiple times on this occasion. The Elemental Shaman was fully flasked and buffed and had a pocket healer and was just mowing down mobs to the point where he was getting millions upon millions of XP per hour, which was insane. Sarth, the content creator, actually did a pretty good in-depth video breakdown on this level 85 race to world first, so if you're looking for an in-depth video on it, go ahead and check out his video on the channel. He does great content. I'm going to be honest, when it comes to the world first race, I always thought it would be like, you know, a mage cheesing dungeon mechanics or something like they always do. But man, I got to tell you, Elemental Shaman was a very big surprise to me, but this is Cataclysm Classic, so here we are. Moving on, some more important news. We have a very important launch date preview about raids and PvP, referring to Blizzard's recent blog post. The blog post states that players will be able to begin the new PvP season starting May 28th, which is on the next weekly reset. And for the PvE raiders out there, Cataclysm Classic is featuring a delayed raid opening launch, which will take place on May 30th, releasing the Bastion of Twilight, Blackwing Descent, and the Throne of the Four Winds raids, opening up May 30th, 3 p.m. Pacific. Now, I know when it comes to the Race to World First, those particular players like everything to be released all at once, you know, the leveling journey, the pre-bis farming that's included, but I personally like the retail aspect where everything is delayed a week, everyone gets a certain amount of prep time, and then all of it at once at, you know, in a raid, and the same thing with Cataclysm case, the raids are all released and everyone's going to attack it at the same time, pretty much on the same playing field. I seem to like that system a little bit better. Additionally, don't forget that there are 10-man and 25-man heroic and normal raids, which is really great for guild inclusivity and allowing everyone to participate in the content, even if you're a smaller guild out there. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you prep your pre-raid best in slot and get your professions grinded up, because you have until May 30th to lock it in with your guild and get prepped for raid. And finally, for the Cataclysm news, don't forget also that the brand new heirlooms are active, which include the cloak and helmet slots, which can be bought after reaching a certain reputation requirement with your own guild. This includes friendly for all the cloak heirlooms, as well as revered for all of the helmets. So all of these are pretty affordable, being under 2,000 gold a pop. And of course, with Cataclysm comes a variety of ways to earn gold directly through guild achievements now, which can help fill in that void as well if you're a part of the, you know, whatever you're doing in your guild. Don't forget, these also come with experience bonuses capping out at 15% together, which can really help the rate at which you level up your alternate characters if there are some classes you want to go and try out. So definitely go get those going. I'm not going to lie, with the way GDKPs have been running classic servers for like the last couple years, I'm sure there are a lot of players out there who have just hundreds of thousands of gold out there to spare, so it shouldn't be that too big of a problem. Moving on now to the other side of World of Warcraft, we have some very big changes in news up and coming from Mists of Pandaria Remix. Blizzard recently announced that there are going to be more level 70 changes towards the end game coming to this version of WoW. This announcement came over on Twitter, with them stating that the team is currently focused on making level 70 gameplay more rewarding, and there will be more details on that to share soon. Some very important changes that I saw under this comment were, you know, a couple of things that people like to mention were changes such as making the legendary cloak stats 100% one-to-one account-wide, so your alternate characters feel powerful as well when you create them. Additionally, reducing the item cost of upgrading your items, with the bronze being reduced by like 80%, because let's be honest here, everybody just wants to save their bronze for buying cosmetics. I mean, I know I do. And then making the achievement unlocks for rings and necklaces and trinkets, where they allow you to actually wear that equipment, make that account wide so you can acquire them instantly on all your alternate characters. So it kind of feels, you know, like you're more streamlined. It makes your character feel more powerful early on. Now, the thing is, as of just yesterday on May 21st, there was some brand new Mists of Pandaria Remix tuning that reduces the scaling in certain areas. Now, what the hell does that even mean? Well, the health of creatures in heroic scenarios have been actually decreased by roughly 25%, and the health and damage of creatures on the Timeless Isles and generally all the endgame zones has been reduced as well. This was due to the fact that pretty much everyone was taking a little too long to scale up into the endgame, and mobs were just whooping players' butts because it was taking so long to get their characters to become powerful. Generally, what you would see is lower level players inside group content would be dealing a lot more damage than the higher level players due to scaling, and that didn't really feel too good, which in my opinion is a great move to get ahead and you know, get that changed up. To amplify this even more, the developers made some amazing changes towards the rate at which you gain spools of thread as well. Now, just in case you forgot, spools of thread are pretty much just stat bonuses that you pick up off of creatures or doing events that grant your cloak additional stats. For example, like Thread of Stamina, Mastery, Experience, or Versatility. These are all different variety of spools of threads that you can acquire. They recently just did a hotfix as of yesterday that allowed these spools of Eternal Thread rewards to get added to dungeons and raid finder content as well as scenarios. Now, depending on the type of content you complete, it will earn you a different range of spool of thread as a reward. For example, getting a legendary spool of thread grants you plus 180 to a specific stat. A user over on Twitter stated that right after the hotfix, a world boss gave him plus 180 mastery, which is a very, very big bonus to their stats overall. So Blizzard is making this easier to make your character stronger while also reducing the overall power of the mobs in the endgame. So it kind of will bring you that little balance of making things feel a lot better and more rewarding as you level up, and generally make the game feel a lot better. You combine that with the brand new increase to experience when you kill bosses inside of a dungeon, where you get like 20% a level every time you kill a boss. It feels really, really good. The leveling in Mop Remix has been super streamlined, and you can go pump out like 5 to 10 levels in like an hour-ish or so. Overall, I'm having a ton of fun on my mage. I literally have to force myself to get off every night because it gets so late. Between that and Cataclysm and Mists of Pandaria Remix, earning cosmetics and rewards, leveling up, I'm having a really, really fun time in WoW right now. Wrapping up today's video with a quick discussion on Season of Discovery, because it seems that with the recent posts from Agrind a few days ago announcing that Phase 3 is going to be extended and delayed a few more weeks, the population and player base has been dropping, and either making it apparent or vocal that they're going to be taking a break or simply not playing it at all. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Season of Discovery, and even being one of the main content creators for that version of WoW, I can't really see myself playing that phase much longer because there really isn't anything left to do. I've gotten rank 7 on all my level 50s. I maxed out all my professions. I, raid log on both my characters. There comes a point where you're just forcing fun out of something that right now isn't too much fun or entertaining. And then it turns the gameplay experience just a little bit sour. So I do think Season of Discovery is going to make a very big comeback with Phase 3 releasing, because I truly believe the developers are going to bring a ton of new content into the game, as well as there just generally being a lot of hype for more raids, dungeons, and stuff like that as well. I would say the start of that comeback is probably going to come in the next 2 to 3 weeks with the release of the PTR for next phase, and I think it's going to be super excited to, go in there, test out all the new runes and abilities, as well as the tier sets inside of the raids for you all. So we will have to keep an eye out on that one. But as of right now, I think the best thing we can do, and all the players out there that play Season of Discovery and don't really feel too much, inclined to keep playing, take some time, breathe, let the developers do their job, and just try out different games, because I think they're going to knock it out of the park. Hashtag Copium. And lastly, for today's news video, it seems that Blizzard is hiring positions for a brand new unannounced PvE game. Although we are lacking pretty big damn details here, identifying what the game is even really about, whether it's going to be brand new or existing IP, there are several high-level positions they are hiring, including creative director, narrative director, and even principal animator for the list of job offerings. Once again, we don't know if this game's actually going to come to life. I think I learned my lesson recently with getting super overexcited about a new game, because Blizzard recently did just shut down their survival game, which really left a sour taste in my mouth, but it's something I guess to keep an eye out for and maybe to look forward to, but I'm not going to overthink it, with the whole Overwatch 2 PvE mode situation, the survival game, a lot of other things with World of Warcraft and Blizzard, so I'm just going to hold off on that for now. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up today's video. If you're sitting here at the end, if you're interested in more World of Warcraft content, please be sure to like and subscribe. We're absolutely flooded with news videos across all versions of WoW. Additionally, we did just recently launch our Comeback Kids official merch store with a few products on there, like, the classic Comeback Kids mug. So if you want to grab a cup of coffee with me every episode, I feel like it's fitting to go ahead and do it in that mug. I want to thank you all so much for watching this video. It's an absolute pleasure to be making content for you all, man. Till the very end, my name is Sky from the Comeback Kids. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.